Hello class, this is your teacher Mr. McDougall with your next Premiere Pro tutorial. In this one we are going to be continuing our intro sequence, and this is going to be part 3 where we focus on audio. So audio is a extremely crucial component to any video that you create, and I know we haven't talked about it a lot, but in this video we're going to focus on making sure our audio sounds good, and we're even going to add music to our sequence as well. So let's start by opening our sequence in Premiere Pro. Let's open it up, pick up exactly where we left off, which is right here. So in part 1, we synced everything together. We made these cuts, these jump cuts, and in part 2, we added these B-roll clips right here. So the next thing we're going to do is start focusing on how our audio sounds. So let's hear it so far.
Hey now, I'm Mr. McDougall and I am the advanced graphics instructor here. Here you will get to take your knowledge from the intro class and use it to create some brand new content.
So far it's sounding pretty good. And as I mentioned before, when it comes to audio, is making sure that our audio stays in the right range and also that it sounds clean. I gave you the cleaner audio, however, there is still a slight hum and noise to it because I shot this in the room and it's picking up the sounds of the air conditioner and stuff. So it's really hard to get super clean audio, but if that's the case, we can clean it up a little bit. So if you have some noise, or background noise as we call it in the business, because it's just noise that you don't want in your audio, like lawnmowers going, helicopters flying by, air conditioners, all that, we're going to clean that up. So let's start by opening our Essential Sound panel. So go to Window and go to Essential Sound. So here is where we're going to clean it up. So let's first start by selecting our audio clips down here on track 2, these ones. By default, they'll automatically be set to dialogue, but if not, just click on this button right here to tag them as dialogue. They should already be set as that, but if they don't come up, if it looks like this, click dialogue. So now all of these are designated as dialogue. You can see it's a little head speaking right here. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that all the levels are the same. So with all of them selected, we're going to right click on one of them. It doesn't matter because they're all highlighted. And we're going to go up to audio gain. And here in audio gain, we're going to click on this one right here. This is normalize all peaks. And right here where it says 0 decibels, click on it to type and type in -6 and then click OK. And you'll see the sound levels will start to change down here.
Hey now, I'm Mr. McDougall and I am the advanced graphics instructor here. Here you will get to take your knowledge.
So you can see over here as it's talking, it's normalizing them to about -6, which is the level that you want. It took all of my clips and it made them slightly louder because originally they were a little too quiet.
From the intro class and use it to create some brand new content.
So now it's peaking around -6, which is where I want. I want it to be between -6 and -12. That's the sweet spot. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is try and clean up that background noise, because you can hear there's that air conditioner in the background.
Instructor here. Here you will get.
You hear that humming in the background. So to do that, we're going to clean it up just a little bit. If you come down here to the repair option, if repair is not already on, let's turn it on. And we're going to turn on reduce noise and de-hum, but we don't want it too strong. We're going to start pretty low. So let me play it and then I will turn this on and you can hear the difference as I activate it.
Now, I'm Mr. McDougall and I am the advanced graphics instructor here. Here you will get to take your knowledge.
So it did take the hum away, but you got to be careful if it's too strong. Now it sounds like I'm talking into a tube or into a tunnel.
From the intro class and use it to create some brand new content.
So you're going to have to play with it, let it play and adjust these sliders. We're going to reduce the noise and the de-hum just a little bit so we can see how it sounds. So let's just kind of play with it until it sounds good to where I sound clear, but also we reduce the air conditioner as best we can.
I'm Mr. McDougall and I am the advanced graphics instructor here. Here you will get to take your knowledge from the intro class and use it to create some brand new content. You will really get to let your imagination flow and take your skills to the next level. We will explore a wide range of
So I turned it up just a little bit, probably about right there. Looks pretty good to me and sounds pretty good to me. There's the slightest humming in the background, but that's okay because we're going to put some background music on here as well, and that should drown out the remainder of that background noise. So if you have situations like this where the audio is not that clear or you're just picking up things in the background, we can try our best to do this repair section. Cleaning up audio is one of the most difficult things in video editing. So it's always best to get the cleanest audio possible, because you can edit it here. However, it is a lot of work and is often not possible depending on how bad it is. If you have extremely terrible audio, no amount of these sliders will be able to fix it. It's always best to get the audio as clean as you can. It's a very underrated skill when it comes to video editing. So now that we have some pretty clean audio, the next thing, as I mentioned, is we're going to use some music. So let's find some music to download. So if you go back to the assignment, you will see I've attached a link right here to a website called Purple Planet. Click on this link for Purple Planet. Before you start looking on here, I want you to bookmark this website because we'll use it a couple times. So click this star and put it to your bookmarks bar. That way it'll be right here so we can reference it multiple times again. What this is royalty-free music. As it says right here, royalty-free music. What royalty-free music means is that it's music that you're allowed to use without getting in trouble or without having to pay. If you've ever tried to use a popular song and put it into a YouTube video or an Instagram reel and it gets taken down or it gets muted, that's because you don't have the copyright licenses to play that particular song. If you use royalty-free music, it says that it is okay to use for YouTube and anything else you want to post to, and you'll be fine. You won't have to pay and you won't get flagged. This is public domain music that they are allowing you to use, and you will not get in trouble. So you can find some because there's lots of categories right here. If you know a specific track, which you probably don't yet because they're pretty generic, but you can look here like in this upbeat category, and we can start looking for songs that we like. We click these play options, it gives you a little sample of it. We're going to find some tracks that we can use as potential background music for our talking head intro sequence. So I want you to listen to a few and pick a couple of good ones that you could potentially use. A couple things to pay attention to is the time limit. Right here where these numbers are, where it says the number, that's the time limit. So this one right here is 2 minutes and 16 seconds. This one's 1 minute 47 seconds, 2 minutes 50 seconds, etc., etc. However many songs you download, make sure they're all at least 1 minute and 30 seconds minimum, because that's the length of our video is going to be. So most of them should be, but if you see anything that's less than 1 minute and 30 seconds, don't download that one. So when you're downloading them, listen to them and download 4 to 5 tracks, because you're going to experiment with a little bit. A lot of times when you download a track, you might think it sounds good and you'll try it out, but then it might not be a good fit. So give yourself 4 to 5 tracks of downloading as options. So that one could be pretty good. If you like a song, click over here where it says download. This will pop up, and then you'll see something pop up right here that says download an MP3. Click on that and it'll go to your downloads menu. So again, download a couple of songs. Maybe I like that one. That one's pretty good too. Download a few. So again, go through here, listen, download maybe 4 or 5 that look or sound pretty good. And I'm going to do the same right now. I'm going to pick 4 to 5 tracks that I think sound cool. Alright, so I downloaded a few. And again, you don't have to live in one category. You can switch between energy and hope and atmospheric and check out all these categories and find a few that you like. Once you've downloaded some that you like, pause the video if you're not at that point just yet. But once you have found some that you like, come back to join me again. We'll take our 5 potential tracks that we've downloaded. So these are my 5 Purple Planet music tracks that I've downloaded, and they say right here, Purple Planet. Let's bring them into our exercise files. So let's import them. Don't leave them in your downloads folder. Make sure you bring them into your exercise file folder. So from there, we can put them in Premiere Pro. So let's open Premiere Pro, and we will bring them into here. So let's take our new music files and we will bring them into Premiere Pro. Again, make sure that you bring them in from your exercise file folder, the one that you've saved that's backed up to your Google Drive. Don't bring them in from the downloads folder. These download ones, once we've downloaded them, get rid of them. Bring them in from here. So let's drop them into our project. And you'll see now we have our 5 music tracks right here. You might get an error sometimes when importing audio or music. There might be something that pops up saying it was an error. It shouldn't do that, but if for whatever reason it does, it's just a glitch. So if that happens, just try re-downloading the tracks and restarting Premiere Pro, and you should be able to bring them in. But for whatever reason, sometimes there's a random error. It's just a glitch. And do that until you have them in here. So now what we're going to do is test out our music choices to see which ones we like. So let's see. Come down here to our timeline. Remember, we can stretch out these timelines a little bit. Our tracks, we could stretch them out so we could see a little bit better. Let's start picking some of them to choose. So if we double click, we can go to the preview menu and we could hear what it sounds like. That one's not bad. So that one, let's test it out. Once you have your tracks, we're going to test out each one. So let's grab our track, put it on track V3 right here, so we can hear how it sounds to fit the theme of the video.
Hey now, I'm McDougall and I am the advanced graphics instructor. Here you will get to take your knowledge from the intro class.
Sounds good. It's also way too loud. Yes, I know. We'll turn that down in a second. That one sounds okay, but maybe not that's the right one. So let's click on it and delete it and try another one.
Advanced graphics instructor here. Here you will get to take your knowledge from...
Well, it sounds good. Now it sounds a little cheesy. And that's why we give ourselves multiple options, because the first one you found on Purple Planet, you're like, oh, that sounds really good. And that was that first one. But then when you bring it in, it might not fit the theme of the video. You're like, you know what? It was a good track, but it just doesn't work with the video clip. And this is something that video editors can spend a lot of time on. This is a very underrated part of the video editing process. Whenever I'm video editing, usually the majority of my time is just picking the right song for the video itself, because a good soundtrack can make or break your video. If you have music that just doesn't fit the theme, people are going to disengage and not watch it. So you want to really pick a good one. Let's try maybe this one.
Hey now, I'm Mr. McDougall and I am the advanced graphics instructor here.
All right, I'm kind of digging that one. That one looks pretty good to me. So do that a few times, as I just mentioned, until you are satisfied with your potential music choice for the video clip. So do that with your own tracks by testing them out, put them on here, kind of see how they sound like, and we can always switch them out again. But pause the video so you can do the same thing and rejoin me again at this point. So one of the first things I'd like to do in Premiere Pro is to color code my clips so I don't start to get mixed up. So you can see these are starting to look the same. My A roll is blue, my B roll clips, they're purple, but my audio so far is all the same color. So this is my clean audio right here on track 2, which is green, but now the music is also green. So one thing you could do just for aesthetic or looks is to click on your music track and then right click on it, go to label, and you can color code these to be different colors. So maybe I want it to be a rose color like that, or label it something else. So you can pick whatever. I'll do purple. No, the B-roll's already purple, so let's not do that. Let's do the rose. I do like the rose, actually. So it doesn't change anything about your video. It just changes the way it looks on the timeline to make it easier for you to tell what's what. So I can quickly tell B-roll, A-roll, audio, music. So my music is pink. Pick whatever color you want to label it as. Now, the next thing we are going to do is have the music duck underneath the audio, because right now, as you could tell, the music is way too loud. When I play the music, it peaks into the red over here like this.
Here you will get to take your knowledge from the intro class and use it.
See, it's getting way too hot. And you can't even hear me. So we're going to have it duck under the audio when I'm talking. So to do that with our essential sound still open, this has been designated as dialogue. If I come down here, this will most likely already be automated as music. You can see a little music note, and it says the music type or the audio type is music. If it doesn't do that, then just click on music right here to make sure this is designated as music. Okay, so with this being music and this being dialogue, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here to where it says ducking. We're going to turn on ducking, and what it says right here, it says duck against dialogue is the automatic one. So when I do that, what ducking means is that the audio will duck down when it hears any dialogue talking. So once I do that, I'm just going to scroll down here and I'm going to click on this button that says generate keyframes, and look what happens down here on my timeline, specifically in this little section right here. Watch. It does that. It created these keyframes, and we've done keyframes before in video, but you can also do it in audio with the audio levels. That's the only thing you really use keyframes for, is adjusting the audio levels. So you can see how this line right here that controls the volume, it is down low right here where I'm talking. It's down low and then it comes back up again. So let's play it and see how it sounds now.
I'm Mr. McDougall and I am the advanced graphics instructor here. Here you will get to take your knowledge from the intro class and use it to create some...
See, now it's a lot lower in the background. Still a little high for me, so what you can do is you can make some adjustments. So right now it's ducking about -18, but I can increase the duck a little bit more so it gets slightly quieter. Let's say 22. So if you have to make any adjustments right here, like duck it a little bit more, click generate keyframes again and it will change down here again. See, it went slightly lower.
Flow and take your skills to the next level. We will explore a wide range of digital tools and even dive into some more advanced...
See, that's sounding a lot better now. I might even duck it just a hair more, down to like 24. But now you can hear me. Now it's just background music. And again, it also drains out that leftover air conditioner sound that we heard before.
Techniques of the production process, including audio.
And the cool thing about audio ducking right here is right here, it's going to increase again. So at the very end of my dialogue, at this point, the music will come back and get louder and be loud again for the end. So let's get to that part right here and see how that sounds like.
To this class, I'm super excited that you're here. Let's have some fun.
See, now it comes back up automatically. However, it's still too loud when it comes back up. So I'm just going to manually change that. If we zoom in right here, this line, I'm just going to use my mouse to bring it down a little bit. So it does come back up. It kind of ramps up right here, but it's not getting super loud because I don't want it to get crazy loud. I still want my audio levels to be appropriate.
Fun.
You have to check over here as you adjust it. So I'm going to adjust it up a little bit higher, maybe to like -13. That's okay. Let's go up a little bit higher than that. -8 maybe.
Some fun.
That's more appropriate right there. I can see that it's getting to about -6, -9. That's right where I want it. So that's the sweet spot right there. So if I play it here, it's going to start down low and then get a little bit louder, but not too loud.
Class, I'm super excited that you're here. Let's have some fun.
Perfect. That's exactly where I want it. So now we are going to start adding some more B-roll to kind of trail off right here, and we're going to finish on a couple more B-roll shots. So at this point, we will go back to our media bin right here with our B-roll clips, and we're going to add the remaining B-roll. So in part 2, in the last one, I told you to add to about 10 to 15 of your B-roll clips, and I gave you 25 in total. So now I want you to add the remainder right here at the end. The really cool thing here about Premiere Pro is you could tell which clips you already have by looking at the little icon right here. You see how some of these clips have this little blue icon? That means this clip is already on the timeline. So I could tell which ones I've already used and which ones are not. So if they don't have a clip, I could start using it onto the timeline. So just like before, we're going to add the remaining clips here at the very end on track 2, and each one will only be about 2 to 3 seconds of the most interesting part. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so now I've added some more B-roll at the very end. Make sure you do the same thing. Again, pause the video if you're still adding your B-roll. This is where, just like I talked about before, this is part of a puzzle. You're trying to figure out what music track works the best, what B-roll clips work the best. You want your video to be super engaging. if you're looking at it and you're thinking the music is lame or your clip order is lame or boring, then you have to do some rearranging and try to find another one. This is where we spend a lot of time in the editing room, is really fine tuning it. This is where editors really shine. So I've added the remainder of my B-roll clips here. So let's see how it looks now with the audio coming back in and then ending on some B-roll.
Again, welcome to this class. I'm super excited that you're here. Let's have some fun.
So see, I was cutting real quick, action shots, keeping it high energy, trying to move things along, cutting quickly to really engage the audience. So the next thing we need to do is make sure that we cut our clip to end at the same time. So our final clip needs to be about 1 minute and 15 seconds, somewhere around there. Well, about 1 minute 15. If yours is 1 minute 14 or 1 minute 16, that's okay, but try to get around 1:15. So once we end there with our B-roll clips, we need to make sure that all of our clips end at the same time. You can see that the music goes off and doesn't end until about 1 minute 47. So we need to trim our music, or else what's going to happen if we don't do that, the video is going to play for about 30 seconds of just black screen. Premiere Pro will export all the way until the very last clip ends. So make sure we trim our clip. So in order to do that, you can just trim the clip from the end, trim the music till right when this ends, so they end about the same time, and our final product is 1:15. We're going to add a couple of things though to really end the video properly, so it doesn't just come to a hard stop though, because right now the music's just going to come to a hard stop at the end of the video. And then it just ends like that. But let's smooth out the transition a little bit more. Let's go back over here to our effects tab, and we're going to look for a couple of transitions. First, let's do the video transition of the cross dissolve, which we've done before when we talked about match cuts. Let's go to the cross dissolve, and let's throw the cross dissolve on the very last clip. Whatever your very last B-roll clip is, let's do that. So that will cause the clip to fade out into black like that. Similarly, if we go to audio transitions right here, and we open this little folder for crossfade, we're going to do this one called exponential fade. So take this exponential fade. This only works on audio, and we're going to put it at the very end. And it's a transition, so it goes at the end. Take this exponential fade. You can see if I do anything up here, it's not going to work because it only affects audio clips. So I'm going to come down here and drop it right here at the end of the music. And so now that will do the same thing to where the music will fade out right there. So the video will fade to black and the audio will fade out. See how it just kind of drops off instead of just stopping immediately. We can always increase the length of these transitions as well by dragging these little transition clips. If I take this and drag it out, it'll increase the length of the fade. Same with this one. If I drag this out, it increases the length of the drop off. So now it comes to a more gradual ending instead of just stopping really hard like that. Okay, so as long as that looks good, we can zoom out. I'm going to hit Control S to save, always a good idea. So this will be our end for this lesson so far. We still have one more part that we're going to add, which is titles and captions. Before you stop working on this one, again, extremely important that you double check your audio settings right here. No matter how I play it, I'll just play it for a little bit, but I want to double check that it's always staying around -6, -12, never getting any higher, no peaking into the red.
So don't be afraid to experiment and try some new things. We're all going to have fun together. Again, welcome to this class. I'm super excited that you're here. Let's have some fun.
So as I'm watching mine, I could tell that my audio levels are appropriate. Audio is extremely important with videos. If you've ever watched a video where your audio is too quiet or too loud, you immediately disengage and turn the video off because it's not comfortable on your ears. So we want that to be appropriate for our audience, and it's based on these over here. So just like we did in the previous lessons, we're not done yet. We have one part left in the next lesson. So just save it, Control S to save it for right now. but don't export or turn anything in. But you can click turn in on over here on Google Classroom when you're all done. Just click the turn in button, but don't attach any files just yet. We'll finish it off in our last part in part 4. So I'll see you then. Have fun. Let me know if you have any questions.